Hey Aquarius! Thank you so much for joining me for your 5-minute forecast for March. My name is Madeline and I've been studying astrology and tarot for a little over 20 years, and I just kind of want to give you an idea of the energetic waves coming into your life this month so you can surf them a little better and invite more magic into your life every day. So there's a couple of really important things going on this month. Venus will be going retrograde, which a lot of people get really up in arms about, which really isn't a bad thing, actually. It's a really good thing. But even before that happens, we start the month off with what I kind of think of and talk about as a big bang type energy. There's a massive opposition happening between generous Jupiter and revolutionary Uranus right on March 2nd. And this is a long-term aspect because those are two very slow-moving planets. So they'll be making that angle for a while and we will be feeling the beneficial results of that energy for months to come. But on March 2nd, when they do it exactly, you can expect to see some really big, like, whoa, like major events that lead to, this is great stuff. This is like breakthroughs, especially after a period of feeling really stagnant or bored or in a rut. And for you, the big change and the massive breakthrough is coming around the way that you think and the way that you see the world, because generous Jupiter is down here in the house of the big stuff we ponder, while Uranus is over here in the house of the small stuff that we sweat. So this is the way that you think about things on a normal everyday basis, like these are my tasks, these are my errands, this is what I need to do. And then here is like your life philosophy, like religion, spirituality, politics, the higher education, the big stuff. Big thoughts, small thoughts, okay? Okay, so here's the next thing. Okay, so this sudden realization, Jupiter is blessing this planet, this house, this journeys and philosophy, which is encouraging you to get bigger, to think bigger, even to travel to new places. And whether that's literal or figurative, there's more of that coming into your life. And some of it could come as a result of this breakthrough. So some of you may have been waiting to like hear about a job opportunity or a moving opportunity, and suddenly on the 2nd, something happened that is like, what? Oh my God, time to go. Like, gotta get out of here. New opportunity, new things to do. You could have some new levels of understanding around the 2nd and really all through March, since all of this action is happening for pretty much the majority of the month. You could broaden your horizons in many ways. And meanwhile, Jupiter is energizing revolutionary Uranus in this house of thoughts and communications. So this is everyday errands. And you could suddenly have this breakthrough of like, this is mundane. This is boring. This is not exciting for me. I could be doing things and seeing people that are much more aligned with how I really feel. And so some of you may be like inspired to really break out and change the way that you run your everyday life. And you could decide that your place in the world is feeling, your world itself is feeling a little bit small. And you really want to break out. And Aquarius, you're the original rebel with a cause. You break the mold. This is a month where you're going to be breaking it some more, like, and everyone's going to see it. Like, this is going to come in ways that like are very visible. Like, you may travel, you may take a new job, you may enroll in new classes and take higher education because you're like, I want to learn this, I want to teach this, I want to share this idea with people. You could even begin to broadcast something or start thinking about broadcasting or publishing something that goes out into the world in a big way, whether it's like YouTube, whether it's a blog, whether it's a book, and you want to go to a brick and mortar publisher. A lot of you were thinking about making your ideas a lot bigger. Okay, so the next thing that is really exciting is that on March 6th, Venus goes retrograde in that same house of your thoughts and communications. So she's underlining that need to review your way of handling everyday tasks. You might revise your way of speaking and writing, or you could find yourself receiving messages from old friends or even old lovers, co-workers, people reaching out to you either wanting a reunion or just to hear how you're doing, or they just kind of pop up like out of nowhere, like, hey, how you doing? What's up? You want to go get a drink? You could have some interesting networking opportunities coming around the past, okay? And whether you take them up is, of course, entirely up to you and your best judgment, but the opportunity will almost undoubtedly be there. So don't be surprised if people kind of reach out to you out of nowhere like, hey, I hadn't thought of you in months or years, and here you are popping up in my inbox or on my phone or in my life. Okay, so Then on March 10th, motivated Mars, the planet of energy and action, moves into your house of home and family, giving you some really good energy to roll up your sleeves and get things done around the house. So that's everything from mundane stuff like actually like decluttering and cleaning up and, you know, rebuilding and repairing, all the way to like addressing issues with your family, addressing issues around your childhood, your roots, and your interpersonal relationships within your family. And your family can also be people that you live with. It doesn't have to be your blood family. It can be like your tribe, your people that you've chosen to surround yourself with. And so there's changes coming there. There's questions to be asked, and there's... It's like you won't feel like sweeping things under the carpet. It's not going to be a month of like keep the peace at all costs. In fact, if anything, you're going to feel very motivated and very almost compelled, like, hey, let's just take care of this shit right now, okay? Like, let's just discuss it, let's do it, let's clear it on out so that we can move forward. And that's a good thing. As long as you're not bulldozing anybody, Aquarius, because you're a fixed sign, you're an air sign, so you've got the words and you've got this imposing aura. So I want to just warn you, please don't be a dictator in your home. Please don't say, this is how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, pay attention to that Venus in retrograde saying, ask questions, like communicate, share. Let it be a house discussion, not a dictator handing down the rules, okay? Okay, so March 12th. A full moon enters your house of intimacy and the other, the house less politely known as the house of sex, death, power, and other people's money. So as you can imagine, that's kind of intense. Full moons tend to bring crises or completion. And when I say crisis, I don't want that to freak you out. I don't mean like there's going to be, you know, a super volcano. I mean that the moon is our emotions, our hidden aspect. So when she's full and light, she tends to bring to our attention things that we've been kind of unconscious of, whether we've been staying unconscious on purpose or we just haven't noticed that, oh my God, this thing really needs my attention. The full moon shows up to be like, hey, like stop ignoring me, I need your attention, okay? And what needs your attention is your intimate partner, for one, and your intimacy with yourself. This is the house of depth. This is the house of psychology. So it's like, what are your passions, your desires and needs, and what are the power dynamics in your life, and do they need addressing? Like, have you been a little too overpowering, or have you been overpowered by someone? Is there a power struggle? All of that stuff needs to be addressed. Asking yourself, how much of your power comes from yourself? How much, like, are you self-empowered? And how much do you expect from other people? Or how much of your power maybe even do you give away to other people intentionally or not? Like, do you let other people's behavior determine how you feel? Take some of your power back. This is an opportunity to notice how you might lose or gain power. So really notice what's going on in your head and in your life around that day of the 12th. And again, when it's a full moon, it's like the 48 hours before, the 48 hours after, and of course the day of. So notice what comes around on those days and notice what questions it brings up for you. There could be a change or some kind of really good, and this could be a very positive thing as well. Full moons, like I said, they can bring completion. So you might see a little bit of a level up through a partner's income, like they get a different job or they get a raise. Or it could even be like an investor or a backer comes and helps you out with money, because this is money that we share with other people, whether that's like the IRS and banks and, well, our romantic partners as well. So good things. I feel like it's good stuff. It might be a little bit uncomfortable because it's exposing deep parts of you that normally, Aquarius, you tend to be kind of like, I'm too cool for this, I'm cool as a cucumber, I'm going to keep myself together. Be willing to get a little raw and vulnerable, especially with your most intimate, loving partners, okay? Excuse me. So on March 14th, the party really gets started here in your house of communications when Mercury moves in, and then 1 week later on the 21st, the sun joins him, and then 1 week after that, the new moon rises in Aries in your house of thoughts and communications. And the new moon in Aries is always important because it's like astrological New Year. It's the spring equinox. Spring has sprung, winter is over, and things are ready to blossom again. So it's a time of great energy, astrologically speaking, and it's an ideal time to write down your intentions, set goals, be like, this is what I want, this is where I want to be. And especially with all this like retrograde action, having you ask questions about that house before the new moon ever enters, it's like the first 2 weeks of the month, the first 2 weeks of the month really allow you to look at where you are and address it and think how you'd like to change it. And then boom, the night of the 27th and day of the 28th is like, here's your chance. Tabula rasa, like clean slate. What do we do now? And okay, so all these planets moving in there, they kind of reactivate that Jupiter-Uranus opposition. And it's an awakening of your mind, again, because it's the way you think about the big stuff and the small stuff. So it's this massive awakening and expansion and inspiration of brilliant ideas and possibilities in your mind, Aquarius, which you are brilliant and you're always thinking of the possibilities and new evolution. So this is like right up your alley. There's the potential for many Aquarians to realize that they're mundane daily interactions that can take them to amazing places. So this is like coworkers, siblings, the people that you just interact with, neighbors on a daily basis. You may have some connections there that you don't even realize how powerful they are or how powerful they're becoming. There's a chance for reconnection, spiritual awakening, travel, growth, and just to find joy, much more joy, satisfaction, fulfillment from your everyday interactions. So ask yourself good questions, Aquarius, and you will get better answers than you have before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this helps you create a great month. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to share about your horoscope, I'd love to hear from you, whether in the comments below or if you want to find me on social media. I've linked all my accounts below as well. And if you'd like me to take a personal look at your chart and give you a much more in-depth horoscope for what's coming up for you and how these aspects are affecting you, I've linked my shop below as well if you want to book a one-on-one with me. Thank you so much, Aquarius. I hope you have a great month and I hope to see you in April. Bye-bye.